Good morning. I've chosen to look at Luke 10:38-42 this morning because I really identify with one of the characters in this passage. So I'll read Luke 10:38-42. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me." "Martha, Martha," the Lord answered, "you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." I've always really felt that Martha gets bad press. She's doing her best and she's putting other needs before her own. And to put this into context, one of the things my mum used to say to me as I was growing up is, all you can do is your best, and you should always try to put other people first. To be fair to my mum, she's led by example, and generally she did it with grace. They were great life lessons that have been really helpful, but I do have a tendency to end up feeling like Martha, distracted and irritated. Martha was the one who opened her home to Jesus. It seems that she was the member of the family who took the initiative. This implies that she really wanted to get to know Jesus, and perhaps that explains some of her irritation at being left to do all the work. For many years, I read this story and thought, must do better and spend more time with God, which is a perfectly good desire to have. But a couple of years ago, I read this passage and tried to imagine that I was in the house of the siblings, with Jesus and the disciples. I saw Jesus looking at Martha with love and compassion. It seemed what was really important was that Jesus loved Martha and longed for her to receive all that he had to offer. And that perhaps, although Martha wanted to grow closer to Jesus, she might be using her busyness to stop this happening, either consciously or unconsciously. This caused me to wonder why she might be doing this, and why I have so much sympathy with Martha. Perhaps the question I have to ask myself when life is busy and I'm feeling frantic is, why am I doing this? What's my motivation? I recognise that busyness can be necessary to get things done and is often unavoidable. But I've come to see that it can also be about distracting myself from God or difficult things, or perhaps me trying to earn other people's approbation or even earn God's approbation, which I don't need to do. The other thing that I sometimes realise is that my initial motivation was good and right, but the busyness has robbed me of the perspective. I wonder if that's what happened to Martha. I like to imagine what happened next. Perhaps the love and grace that Jesus offered allowed Martha to continue to serve the food, recognising that hospitality is her God-given gift. Or perhaps she just sat down at Jesus' feet and listened. Or perhaps the others got up and helped her. But the thing that we do know is that Martha did grow close to Jesus. And if we look at John 11, she became a friend of Jesus, believed that he could heal her brother, and recognised him as the Messiah, the Son of God, who is come into the world. So, I wonder what we can learn from Martha and her interaction with Jesus. Perhaps we need to remember that Jesus is looking at us lovingly, even when we're distracted and busy, and all that he wants us to do is to see this and accept the love and grace that he is offering to us, so that we can grow in love, trust, and faith like Martha.